Hey guys, how's it going? All right, I am so excited to get to be a part tonight and be a part of this tips from the top. We have, I am pumped about the people we have talking tonight. They are leaders from our team. They've been rocking it the last couple of months, doing their thing. You know, filling out their steps, promoting all these things. And so I think it's just exciting to get to hear from them and get to hear what they're doing in these times and maybe what they've done up to this point. Like, I know one of the things I can see when my business flourishes for what I've done from even some, even 6 months ago, I'm like, oh, this was from something I did 6 months ago. That's pretty cool to have that coming in. And so, is anyone else struggling? Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, thumbs up? Okay, yeah. Hillary, I think it might be the connection. But I'm glad you said something. So we are just going to jump in and go for this. We're going to start with a big promotion we had last month. Kelly, I am trying to, there we go. I'm trying to unmute you, but congratulations, double diamond, girl.
I know, so crazy. Thank you so much. Yeah, totally nuts.
That's so exciting. Man, you did it.
I know. Oh my gosh, hell or high water, I was going there. It didn't matter, but it was amazing.
Dude, I love your personality. You're like, when you set your mind to something, you're doing it. And that's kind of at times what this business needs.
Make it happen, baby. Make it happen.
I loved it. When I commented on your thing, you were like, oh, triple this month. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch it happen. No doubt about it.
You see I'm in my car. I just finished an event. So we just signed 2 distributors and 4 customers and just rocking it one step at a time.
Rock star. Yes. I think that's what I love about how you work it. You do it and you try everything and you go for it. And so I'm excited. So I know we got to do tips with you, when you promoted to diamond. And so it's exciting to see that was about 4 or 5 months ago.
May. So I started the last week of April and I went diamond in May.
Yeah, I know you literally went diamond in a month, y'all. This girl is a rock star. And so, and here you are promoting to double. And so that's why I'm like, girl, you can build a diamond. You're going triple.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've kind of said I know some of the people on here have heard a little bit of your story, but really quickly, why don't you tell us how you got in to this business?
Well, I had 2 sets of twins. So my bigs are turning 4 next week and my little guys are just turned 1 in July. And I left the hospital and I gained 30 pounds. And I'm a longtime yoga instructor, vegetarian. So me with 30 extra pounds was like, I was not having it. And so 9 months I sat at that and I was praying on my knees, praying for an answer about my body. I was not willing to hit my mat. I knew how much work it was going to take. I was so frustrated. And around the same time, a job that I had been doing for 10 years where I could bring my babies and whatever was coming to an end. So I was praying about my body and financial freedom. For me, it was like $100,000 a month. And I'm a stay-at-home mom, I really have been doing everything from home. And 3 days later, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw Danielle Boyle posted who wants to make $200 to $500 from their phone. And I messaged her and I was like, what's the deal? What's the catch? What do I have to do to sign up? What does it entail? And literally I signed up and it was, I got on the system, I melted, I lost 30 pounds and I hit the ground running. And I just knew it was a match. I knew it was an answer to my prayers. I'd been solicited by MLM companies for my whole life. I sold knives when I was 19 and made $36,000 one summer. And it was I needed the right thing. It had to be. I've been in health and wellness for 20 years. I had my first wrap. I lost inches. I went pain-free and I was like, okay, what is this? It's weird. It's amazing, but what is it? And I was sold, and it was amazing. And I just hit the ground running and promoted to Ruby in 4 days and went diamond. My goal was triple my first month. I had no idea. Sometimes when you don't know, it's kind of better not to. And Ben Boy, like, who are you? What are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. Show me the way. I don't even know what charting is. I don't even know what diamond means. What's going to get me $100,000 a month? And he was like, all right, girl, like, you got this. And I understood then that miracles in this company happened because Danielle was praying for someone to go diamond in 30 days. And I was an answer to her prayer, and she was an answer to mine. And or the business was, and they were too. They're amazing. And I just worked the miracles. Halfway through that first month, he's like, you need like 20 distributors. I was like, okay. And I just went. I just got it. I didn't know. I didn't know. And that's really how I got started.
Yeah. And I love that. So like when I hear you saying that, I think I hear like, one, you never know, like don't prejudge the people you ask or that you're involved with. Cause like you said, you've been approached how many times, but this was the right timing. And so we don't know what is the right timing for people. And they always talk about the big life changes that happen every 6 to 8 months in somebody's life. So you could be thinking, but you could think, oh, I know they're not into that, da, 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 da. And then in 6 months, that might be the very thing. Like, I love what you said, because I have found that with people on my team and in my own life. I didn't even realize, for me, when I think about myself, I didn't even realize this is what I was praying for, but this is what I was praying for. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh my word, we have that answer. I actually just got off the phone with a potential distributor before this started. And I was like, you know what? This has been such an answer to prayer for me. Why would I keep it to myself? And I think, that's the biggest thing when it's like, well, for people who might be scared to ask or, nervous about it, man, this could be the answer that they're praying for. And you could be the one to ask them and be able to give it to them. And so I love that. And then I also love that you're like, okay, I knew I needed 20 distributors. So I was going to sign 20 distributors, Honestly, I think it is good to know exactly where you are and what you need. Like if you're brand new on here, or if you've kind of lost focus a little bit, what is your goal? And for some of you, it might be like starting back, a little bit, feel like starting back over, but what do you need to start back over to get to where you want to be? And I would just challenge you, if you're like, man, I need the extra $300 to $500 a month. Okay, let's get you Ruby. Do you know what you need to be Ruby? And if you don't know for sure, your enroller or your diamond enroller will definitely help you know. So then you can have, a focus and go. And if you're like, man, I have one last month to get that $10,000 bonus, I'm going to get it. And I know we were going to have, a fourth person on here, Allie, who wasn't able to be on here, but she knew at the beginning of last month, she's like, I need to sign 9 distributors, and she did, and she went diamond. So I think it's just so good that in a sense, ignorance is bliss, but I love that because you had the limits off already. And I think some people come in and they have to take the limits off, but they were already off for you. And so I love that. Okay. So you go diamond and you're pumped. Tell us a little bit about the next, I guess 6 months.
Yeah, so I went diamond. It was amazing. And I've never lost momentum. It's the first time in my life. And I think on Pam Sauer's talk last night, the girl who was talking, I missed the name because we were working, but yeah, she had said that, I knew it was the right thing when I followed through and I didn't quit. And for me, that is 100%. Anything and everything I've ever done, I've like dabbled in. It wasn't the right thing. I just move on. Dabbled in, wasn't the right thing. I just move on. And since I started, it's in my bones. I just feel like no matter what, I'm going there. I'm going to hit my goal. I'm going to hit my dream. And so June was a little bit quiet for me. Like I could make all the excuses in the world that I want to, that it's a tough time for people are graduating, and I didn't. I don't like that. I don't like to make excuses, because if I'm willing to work, there are no excuses. It just is. And then the July thing hit and I was built. I think I didn't really sign that many distributors. but then I became built because Danielle and Ben sound like over 1,000. And I'm like, I'm going there. I'm going in. And they were like, do you want this? Are you going to go? And I was like, I'm not quitting. I'm going. So they helped me out build a little bit for triple. And I've been built for triple. So August came and I was working it. I was going live every day and messaging and hitting my comfort zone. And it was like crickets. And I was like, am I doing something wrong? Did I dry up? What's happening? But I never got discouraged. I always felt like I know something somewhere somehow, because I am on purpose. Like, it was the first time I felt in my life where my dreams, goals, and wishes were in complete alignment with God's purpose for me. And it felt like so open and so much wind. I could taste it. And so I kept going and I didn't let up. I did not quit for one day. I did not take one day off. At that time, we had a little bit of a hiccup. My sister-in-law and her husband were built for Emerald, and they were going with us right to the top. I was taking them with me. We had a little family feud, and they quit. And my whole diamond on that side fell apart. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that means. I'm going to keep going. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. And September came, and it started like mid-September, I started signing people again. And it felt so good to not get discouraged and not lose momentum. And all those seeds that I planted in July, August, September, it just kept momentum for me. And I was really doing a lot of personal development at that time. I'm a big, personal development and I don't know, self-discovery junkie. I love it. That's why I'm so excited about this business. I'm up at night listening to books on tape and doing as much as I can to grow. But what was funny is in August, I knew in my heart that I was missing something. And my key was charting. I said I didn't understand it. I tell myself I'm not a green personality, even though Carissa will tell you otherwise. My OTOM, she's like, girl, you are all green. I don't know what you're talking about. But I know I jumped the gun. I did an OTOM when I was like diamond and a half. And I was like, okay, I know for me to move forward, I have to learn charting. And I sat there, even though I was working my business, I was not willing to go there and look. It was like I was afraid of numbers or something, as if like the numbers would be overwhelming. And so here comes September, October, and I listened to, there was a special Zoom for the diamonds and above. And the girl said, if you commit to longevity in this company, you will have a goal and a vision and you will get there. It was like, sometimes the fastest road is not the best road. And it took the pressure off because I wanted to go ambassador in September. I had no idea what that meant. And when I didn't hit that, I was like, man, what's wrong with me? And then I was like, wait a minute, let me get perspective here. Like, I'm doing good in this business. If I'm looking long-term and I want to retire my spouse and I want to have a new home and I want a house on the beach and I want to change, the legacy of my family, this is going to take time, and it could take like a real seasoning of it. So the minute I let go of that pressure, it felt like a different focus. It felt like commitment. And then I was having so much fun again. And all of a sudden, Danielle and Ben were going to Paris. I couldn't go because I'm at home with my babies. I can't leave them for that long, but I am going to conference. Yay. And they left, and I was like, there's like 5 days left. I had a really deep personal challenge where I was faced with my darkness and the enemy was hidden strong internally. And I was like, no. You do not belong here. I'm in line with my heart and God, and I am moving forward. And I made the commitment. And that week I signed 20 customers, 2 distributors. This was just the last week of November. And I understood charting. There was something about looking at it that I was like, oh my gosh, I get this. And Ben and Danielle were like, we're leaving for Italy. And I was like, I got you. Like, I'm good. I got you. I'm going. You're going to just watch, because it was like 7-hour difference. And when Ben woke up, like right an hour before I went, he's like, are you good? Like, what do you need? This is what you needed when I went to sleep. And I was like, no, we're only like 50 BV away. I got you. He's like, what? I'm like, I figured it out. So I took complete ownership. And I think that was so important because, as a leader, when you're moving up in the ranks, you can't like know everything and then not know how to chart. You can't lead your team and then not say, hey, this is what you need this month to go executive. This is what you need this month to go, whatever your goals are. Do you want to run with me? Let's go. We'll get you there. And that was phenomenal. Oh, thanks, Melissa. That was phenomenal. It growth spurted me beyond. And I didn't even know I was making a $15,000 bonus. At that point, it wasn't even about me. It was about when I finished and I was promoted and I was making all my promotion posts for all my people, so much joy came out. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting it. Like, this is what it's all about. Even though I had made a lot of people money when I went diamond, that was nothing compared to this, and nothing, I'm sure, compared to as you move up. And Ben was like, that's one of the keys, and one of the wonderful things about it. And I woke up the next morning and they were like, it's official. You got a $15,000 bonus. And I was like, what? On top of everything, I got that. Like, that for my family is a game changer. And, to make an extra $6,000 income with a combined salary, because of course I signed up my spouse, and it changes everything. And she's finally on board, and we're going there, and we're just going to make it happen. So much fun.
I love that. I feel like one of the things you said, I'm like self-development too, and I just finished the 5-second rule. And that's such a good book, right? And she talks about that we all really know what the next step should be. It's just that it's hard. Like, something new is hard. Something different is hard. In our mind, just because it's simple doesn't necessarily mean that it's not hard. And so, but we got to do hard things. And that's one of the things she talked about, is like that discipline that you learn to learn something. It doesn't actually necessarily make things easy. It just gets them done. And then the freedom in having that done, you're like, oh, like you said, I got this, you know what I mean? And so I think we could all sit here and go, okay, what is that thing that I know I should be doing that I'm not doing right now? Okay, so we probably all have it if we're really honest, then challenge yourself to do it. Like, no excuses, no holds barred, go for it. And I love it. I love that you know exactly what you're doing. Okay, so you said you signed 20 level customers in a week. Like, let's talk a little bit about, let's talk about excuses for a second, because you're like, I don't believe if you do the work, there is no excuses. And I agree with that 100%, because we're sitting here talking to somebody with 4 kids, under 4 and under, under 4, you're busy. Like, there's stuff that can be done. And that's something Pam Souter does always talk about. She's like, your why can become your excuse if you're not careful in this business. And so you haven't allowed that to happen. Your family's with you. So what's your, what's kind of a little bit of your daily routine? We always talk about like your 6 list or your non-negotiables. What are those kind of things? I know everything looks different.
I don't know if you can see back here, like this bag back here is all my stuff. So I am a product of the products. I lost 30 pounds. I'm pain-free. I should not even be functional right now. Have gotten probably like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour of sleep every night for the last like 2-3 weeks. But I have 4 children. Like, with my first set, I had bags on my, like, I don't know if you've seen my before and afters. And I was like swollen with exhaustion. And I have so much energy. I just finished talking for 6 hours to people and running an expo. And, I'm going to get off and I'm going to follow up with all my customers and send out all my messages. So I'm really eat, breathing, sleeping, and working it. But it's kind of like it's in my system at this point so much that everything I think about is how I could talk about or work with somebody on helping them, whether it's with their business or, with their bodies or their minds or their hearts or their souls. And so I walk around and I it's like exuding. It's almost like I've been saying, like verbal diarrhea. It just keeps coming out of me. And I just keep talking about it and thinking it. And I wake up, I have my keto. A couple hours later, I do my greens and my Vital Core. Then I have my shake. I do my facial stuff. I do all the skincare. And for me, it's been all about self-care. As a stay-at-home mom, if you're not taking care of yourself, the resentment kicks in. It's really lonely. It's quiet. And it's basically like the most intense discipline focus all the time. With one baby, it must be one thing, but with 4 of them, sometimes I just look at them and I'm like, okay, I don't even know what to do about this right now, but I got to do a little post, you know? So it's like, it's given me an outlet and a drive. And I'm one of those people that the more I have to do, the more I get done. Mm-hmm. 2 sets of twins was easier than one to me. And now I'm working this business like it's nobody's business. I'm working it hard and I'm hustling, and everywhere I go, I get phone numbers, I give contact information, I blitz people. So if you think of one thing that you're not doing, I'm doing it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know, I wake up in the middle of the night, my babies are sleeping, I hop on, I do a few, you know, interactions, I post, I network, and there's really no rest for the weary. And I think if you're starving for that, like, there's something in the fire in my belly is so furious at this point that it's just driving me and driving my business, and the excitement is just so much fun, and I'm really just enjoying it. So I get up, I do my thing, I post. This last 12 days I've been doing like 12 days of Christmas. Every day I post a new product, you know, just to plant seeds and get them out there. And the best thing is people are like, I've been watching you. I want to, whatever you think I need to be on, and they give me their credit card information. Like, that's the kind of seeds I'm talking about. I go live sometimes 3 or 4 times a day. I'm posting 6 to 8 times a day on Facebook. Instagram's a little bit slower for me. Like, I haven't quite found that niche, but this morning I woke up to 6 messages on there. So all of a sudden it's gaining momentum, and I feel like, oh man, triple is gonna, you know, hit just as easy. Double was easier than diamond for me. So it's been really amazing.
Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Sorry. Okay, I think I got it set. Okay. No, that's awesome. And I think one of the biggest things before we hop, I mean, you are such an inspiration right now. And what the truth of it is, and that's what I see with a lot of people who have been successful with this business, is that it's just a part of your life. So it's not necessarily something you're doing outside of your life. It's just part of it. And the fact that, like, for me, for you, when I think about you, I'm like, man, this is the true statement of Kelly. If the product isn't changing your life, the business probably isn't either. But because the product has been changing, that's why it's important, you know, to set up your auto shipment or to be trying the products. Because I know for myself, people are more interested in the things that I'm personally doing, you know, or Joey's doing. He's at 44 pounds now, actually, that he's lost. But like, they're like, what are you doing to be healthy? You know, and they're interested in that. Now, of course, I have other stories and we have products that we need to talk about, but ultimately you're going to get the most out of people watching your health journey, your financial journey, you know, and just being able to go off of it. Okay, so it's been so fun. I feel like I could talk to you about the whole time, but give us one, like, somebody who's like, they're right there this month. What's a tip you would give them? Or yourself, because you're going for it. Just a second. I'm going to try to find you. You're muted somehow. There we go.
Sorry. I don't know what happened. It went blank, and then here I am. Okay. I have people that are built for executive, built for ruby, built for emerald, built for diamond, built for double diamond. So close. Even like the last night, you know, two of my people were so close, like 50 BV away, and they're like, I'm done, it's not happening. And I was like, what? Okay, what do you mean, first of all? And second of all, I don't care if you're done, I'm going. And so if you can muster up, number one, the commitment that even if you don't feel like it, do it anyway. Even if there's not really a day that goes by that I don't want to share, but sometimes, you know, life gets in the way, or you're busy or whatever. Like I said, you can make all the excuses in the book, but if you think about excuses, think of me. Because, I have a busy life. It's busy. I don't know how I get half of what I get done, but I'm committed. And so if you're committed and you think to yourself like, oh, I'm right there, but I'm not going to make it, don't quit. Do it anyway, because you never know. You never know. And the minute that I feel like that, or I feel like, oh my God, I'm so discouraged, I reach out. I reached out to Sherry Lynn because Danielle Boyle wasn't available. And I was like, please, my team is like falling apart last minute. Can you send Win in my sales and just hold space for my team? Because I am promoting tonight. And like she did that. And then the girl called me back. She had 6 new customers. And all of a sudden it was like stay close to the fire, get what you need. There are people that support you. Ryan just sent me the most beautiful text and was like, you're going to kill it tonight. Good luck on your call. And I'm like, that's family. And so if you feel like I'm in this alone, Cammie says we're in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. And if you feel lost or you feel like you're not going to get there, let somebody pray over you. Let somebody blow wind in your sails. Let someone encourage you, because you will. That 3 feet could be beyond your finish line. That next person could be your diamond. Like that next person you sign, you could save their life with these products. And I just feel like when you feel deflated, find a way to stay close to the fire, fill up, and just do it anyway, because you'd be crazy not to do it with this business. I mean, I've got $25,000 in bonuses. I'm bringing home as a stay-at-home mom like $5,000 to $6,000 this month. Christmas and my kid's birthday is going to be amazing, and I'm not stopping here. Now I'm starting to dream bigger. I want a bigger house. I want a house on the beach. I want my daughter, like right before I joined, we found out my daughter is 90% deaf. I had the money to pay for her hearing aids when insurance wasn't going to cover it from this business. So you don't know why God put this business into your life, but it is for a reason. It's a God-driven business. And if you let God blow wind in your sails and all of us feel it and feed it, there are no limits, and everything is possible.
Yeah, I love that. There are no limits. You have no limit. Really, your only limit is yourself, and you can get past that. And so I love that. I'm so glad that I even am just so inspired by your August thing. I think, you know what, when you nothing happened in August and I was doing all these things, that is where you're going to be an ambassador, girl, because you kept going. And that's where so many people give up. But staying consistent through all that stuff, that's the key to this business. And so thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. You're awesome.
Thank you so much. All my love. What an honor.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Hannah. Let's find you, girl. There we go. Okay. Hannah, I think I got you. Kelly, let me see.
Yeah, I can mute myself.
Okay. Are you able to do that? Okay. Perfect. Thank you. All right, Hannah. Hey, we're so glad you're on tonight. How fun.
Gosh, I am so excited. I'm thinking to myself, wow, I have to talk after Kelly. She's a huge inspiration, and wow, so mind blown, very inspirational.
I know. I do think of her when I'm like, man, am I gonna make it today? And I'm like, I am. I'm gonna go. But you are so fun, and congratulations on your newest promotion.
Thank you.
So awesome. You're Emerald. That's a big deal. People don't realize the percentage, and we need to post that because right now my mind is blank. But I mean, Diamond is the 1% of the company and above. So that's huge. And I know Emerald's not far behind there, and even Ruby's not far behind there. And so way to go. Everybody that's on here that even promoted last month, I forgot to even say it, but y'all are rock stars, going for it, not letting anything hold you back. And so that's so fun. So tell us about how you got to be in the business.
Okay. Well, this is, I think, my first time actually sharing my story. Don't really get to share it that much. So I'm 26 years old, guys, and I'm Hannah Ellerman, if I haven't met you yet. But so I joined about January of this year. So it's almost been a year. And at that point, I I lost about 48 pounds. So I was very determined. It was a whole new thing for me. I was really excited about that. So then I started getting really interested in health and fitness. But at the same time, I was planning a wedding for June. So just got married in June. So on my social media, I'm just kind of going through health and fitness and things like that. And so I see, let's see, this story is so important to me because like, this is how it's so important when people tell you like, you need to really make sure you're asking, because I knew that I got a friend request from Melissa, my upline, and you know, she's posting all these things about health and fitness, and I'm like, who is this person, you know? But then I saw like she had a lot of followers and she was posting a lot of inspirational things like that. And at that point I was pretty private on my social media account. And guys, I kid you not, like you might not know this, but I'm a super shy person and I have like so much anxiety. I was like, oh my God, Melissa, like I can't believe I'm going to do this tonight. I'm freaking out. So literally like anybody can do this business. It's awesome. But besides the point, so I'm friends with Melissa, and then you know, I'm seeing these things all the time. I'm seeing a couple, like my neighbor did, It Works. I saw her do that. And then, you know, I have Snapchat. So I saw my friend was drinking her energy drinks. And so I was aware of that. But me being the person, like being shy, having anxiety, not being a salesperson, all those things that we hear out of fear all the time. That's what I was thinking. So I would have never, I hate to admit it, but I would have never have asked to join. I would have never found a way to say, I want to do this. But so with that being said, Melissa would, like my posts, and I would see her page and like that. And she reached out to me, and this is what we encourage everyone to do. And this is what's so beautiful is because I know for a fact, like, that truly is the best way to go about it, is asking. So she reaches out to me and just says, hey, I think you'd be amazing at what I do. She let me know she followed my story about, you know, my weight loss. She thought I'd be great at this business and I would dominate. And I said, yeah. And little does she know, she asked, and I'm just like, sure. You know, I'm like, absolutely. And also another thing was she said, okay, well, cool. She sent me to an event, and that is truly what sealed the deal. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, that's great. We have an event. Yeah, I'll send them there. But it's like way more than that, because that is what got me to join. I mean, I was already there. I was already like, yeah, I'll do it. 99, no big deal. Even though it was a big deal, I can't believe I did it because I was planning for a wedding. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm totally not telling my fiance I paid for this. I don't know what I'm doing, but I just know I have to do it. It was just like, you know, just a blessing. And it was definitely answered my prayers. I just wanted to, you know, doing the weight loss. I had a lot of people come up to me and just say, hey, what were you doing? And then I realized that I got to be that person to share some advice. And I got to be that person to be an inspiration. And I fed off that and I loved it. And, but then once I lost that weight, it kind of just stopped. My husband's a police officer, so he's always working all the time. He's working, not only at the police department, but he's working nights and he's working off duty all the time. And I have a Monday through Friday job. And, you know, we're planning this wedding, and, you know, I'm like, babe, I want to work more. Like, I need to have some extra hours, but he has 2 kids. So it's kind of impossible for me to pick up another job. And so I kind of just, that inspiration just kind of died on me, and I just didn't have a way to really make a difference. And I just really wanted something to, I just needed this, basically. I just wanted something to, you know, for me to have a purpose, and for me to, this is what I've always wanted in life, you know, just to be able to change people's lives. And I'm just so blessed to be a part of this. So definitely when you're talking to people, you got to ask, because if you don't ask, you'll never know. You don't know who's watching. And I was watching all the time, but I never would have done it if I wasn't asked. And when I went to that event, I saw the party. Join the party is like the best line ever, because I'm like, I want to join that party. You know, I got to see when you guys do like live videos on the page and share inspirational stories. I'm thinking to myself, those are real people. Like they're no different. Like they all signed up. They all paid the $99 for the business builder kit. Like that could be me. And then what got me to just keep going was I was just kept thinking, you know, what would happen in a year? Like, Hannah, like what do I have to be scared of? All those fears I had, I just let it go. And I just said, you know, I'm just going to get through a year, and I'll just see where it takes me. And I was just posting a live video today about how blessed I am about doing this. I'm thinking, okay, now it's a year. Now I'm thinking, man, I really wonder what 3 years is going to look like. And I really wanted to know, like, how's it going to look like for the rest of my life? So definitely blessed.
I love that. I love that you're saying ask you. You know what? I feel the exact same way. If Sherry had not asked me 6 times, I would not be doing this either. Like, it's just, there is such power in asking. And I love too, just hearing in your story, like, Melissa found a common thing. Both of your husbands are, you know, police officer. So like looking for people with a common ground is such a key thing. That's what we talk about when you're looking for distributors, is, you know, relating with somebody that you can actually relate to. And then even with Kelly, I know, I think Danielle added her on Facebook, and that's how they kind of connected. And so you never know what's going to come to your team from making those connections. And I love that. I just think it's important that you do that. And I do think it's important that you ask too. I mean, I've shared this before, but one of my best friends joined someone else on a different team and was hurt at me that I didn't ask her. And I'm like, wait, I thought you would ask me if you wanted to join me. Like, I didn't want to offend you. You know, I'm like, lesson learned. Okay. Yeah, she added you. Okay, good, Kelly. Yeah, so that it is just good to continue to grow your network and connect with people. It's, you know, beyond that. And I love too that this was just, you know, something you're looking for, and something, this is a powerful tool that we get to help change other people's lives too. And that's fun. That's so fun. And being a product of the product, again, that tells its own story in itself. And so good. Okay, tell us a little bit about what your days look like. If you, like a typical day. I know they all look different, but.
Yeah, so I currently work at a hospital, and I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. So it gets pretty rough. There's been a couple times where I'll hide in the bathroom and do a couple of things like that. But ignoring that part, so I really take advantage of our apps. So before I go to bed, you know, I'm following up, but I'm getting prepared for the day. So what a typical day looks like is, so before I go to bed, I'm setting all my posts, because I know even though I'm at work, that's fine, but I don't want to look like I'm not open for business. So I still make my posts at least 4 to 6 times a day. You know, I'll post about my lifestyle or the product of the product. Or even before I go to work, you know, I'm drinking my keto coffee or something like that. So I'm still making sure that I'm open for business. And then that's where it kicks in, where I'm in the bathroom hiding in case someone comments on the post real quick or something like that. But typically once I go home, then that's when that's when I go full in gear. I mean, I'm doing like live videos on my way at home. I'm doing like Snapchats. I'm like full blown. Okay, now it's like a kid getting ready to go for recess. I'm like, okay, that job's done. Now it's like the fun part. Now this is the job I love to do. So I do the buffer. Let me see. Oh, and then so a couple of things that I like to do is, so I also set not only buffer, but I do captivate, as I'm sleeping. So how awesome is it, as I'm sleeping, I'm sending out friend requests and things like that. So when I go home, I accept all of those friend requests, and I like to send out a little message, because I like to really connect with people, because that's what my passion is. That's what I fully enjoy doing, is help changing lives, help inspiring others, and things like that. So I would send them messages and just say something simple like, hey, thank you for the ad. I love your page. If someone sent me a friend on Facebook, I would say the same thing. And then I would maybe say, you should also connect with me on my Instagram page as well. Mm-hmm. Something like that, because that way you have an instant connection. Not only, you know, I'm also doing liking photos. I'm also commenting on photos as well, doing them my stories. But I feel like a little greet like that, and especially just giving them a nice compliment that you like their page. Or if, and of course, like you follow the you know, your little tips there about who to follow. So I'll follow like dog moms or police wives or things like that. So I love dogs. So if I see a cute dog on her page, I would comment on that. So just a little tip goes a long way. Or a little greet goes a long way. So that's what I do, is I follow up with all my friend requests. And so yeah, I just post 6 times a day and I follow up with them. And then, so I keep it going. Once I send them those messages, I might not message them right away. I might just say that and then like their post, and then I will maybe message them the next day. And I keep it short and sweet. I would just say, sorry, my husband just walked in from work, so he distracted me. Huh? You can sit there if you want to. He's like, hey. So anyway, you distracted me.
All right, I'll leave.
You gotta leave. So I will message someone, and I will keep it short and sweet. So I like to, like for hair, skin, and nails, for example, I would comment on their, I would give them a compliment as well. I'd say, girl, your hair is gorgeous. I don't want to sound like a creepo at all, but I just want to know if you'd be interested in being a product model. Just something short and sweet like that. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm constantly doing live videos. I'm doing voice messages, interacting with everyone. My favorite thing now is when I'm doing Facebook, and I know you guys have seen it on these comments. I'm getting a little out of control, but I can't get over these GIFs at all. They're hilarious. So whenever I'm like voice or messaging someone on Facebook, I send some GIFs in between there too, just so I can really relate to somebody. So, and then I'm usually working until, my husband will probably tell you I'm usually working till 10, 11, midnight, sometimes a little bit later. Sometimes like wake up in the middle of the night, I'm on my phone, but just follow up and work as much as possible. I make sure that I have a team. I have a Facebook chat group with my team, so I always want to check in with them, share any tips that I have or anything like that, and see where they need to be as well. So, and the chart's always right next to me, so just trying to get in as much as I can before I work the next day.
Yes. I love that you're prepared to go while you can. And it's so, if you guys are wondering about some of those things, if you look on our Diamond Empire page, Kelly's posted a video on how to use Captivate that allows you to follow through the night. And also, I wonder if we've ever posted anything about how to put drafts in Instagram, because that's a super, super helpful thing. Maybe I need to do that if nobody has. But that you're prepared to go and still accomplish all your stuff and then still just connect to people. Like we always just talk about, I think I say this almost every Tips from the Top, but our job description is that we help our friends and we continue to make more friends. And that's what we get to do. And how fun is that? That's so awesome. Okay, give us, here in like a minute, give us what's Insta wasn't allowing that anymore. Drafts? I did a draft today. Maybe do an update on your phone. Okay. But give us one quick tip that you could give us here. If for somebody who's like, I want to promote, I need to go Ruby, Emerald, Diamond. Okay. One thing I would tell them is, I would definitely agree with Kelly. No excuses, but don't let fear of today leave you with punishments for tomorrow. Because and I always like to say, like, work every day like it's month's end. If you guys don't know it's month's end, then you're lucky, because month's end, I'm like, oh my God. When I got promoted for Emerald, Melissa will know I'm texting her at like
midnight. I'm like, did it go through to that? I mean, I got the final last as I could possibly get. So work every day like it's the month's end. The beginning of the month, prepare for that a month's end time. So the beginning of the month, get that chart ready. See what you need to do for your team, see what you need to do for yourself, and work every single day and start checking off your list. I got that done, I got this done, because what you do today, you will thank yourself for tomorrow.
That's awesome. That's so true. Your investments for today will affect everything you do. And I love that. I think this business is so much about planting seeds, and you never know when you're going to reap them. But work like it's month's end, take responsibility for what you have, and keep moving forward. I mean, you guys are rock stars. And I can't wait to see. Are you coming to conference?
Yes, I am coming to conference. So real quick, I also want to share that. So when I joined in January, I actually won a contest on our team to where I got to watch it pay-per-view. So that is incredible. I know that when Kelly was talking about like this is in her bones, like I feel it. I mean, there's no reason why you should not go to conference. Like I got to see this, and I believe that that is just one of the many reasons that just got me straight going. I mean, there's been not one day where I'm like, I can't do this. Like every day I'm like, I got this, I can do this. And conference is so powerful. It's not like a good movie where you watch it and you're like, well, that was a really good movie. And then like a month later, you're like, what was that movie again? I mean, a year later, I'm like, oh my God, conference last year was amazing. So I can't imagine what's going to be like this year. I am definitely going. So I'm super excited. It's my first time in person, so I'm super pumped.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait to meet you and hug your neck. That's going to be so fun. And Kelly too. All right. Thank you so much, Hannah, for sharing with us.
Thank you so much.
And just thankful for your stories. Okay. If you'll mute yourself, I'll hop on. I can unmute Allie here. Hi, Allie.
Hi.
Let
Can
me
y'all hear me?
Okay. Figure out what's going on here.
Can you hear me?
What is going on? Okay. I don't even get it. Okay. I'm going to scan through. Let me mute you one more time. Okay, that's weird. Allie, I don't know what's going on. Let me try to go back to you in a different way and see if it happens again. Okay.
Is it making a weird?
Okay, so Allie, try hopping off and hopping back on again, and let's see if there's like a weird connection there, because it's something with when I unmute you. Oh no, that's so sad. Okay. See if she hops back on again. We'll wait for a second. I hope it works too. I really want to hear from her. Okay. Oh, maybe her sound isn't so, I wonder. I don't know. That was so weird. Oh, okay, there she is. Allie?
Hear me?
Yay!
Okay, I'm on my phone now. My computer has been acting so weird. So
Okay.
I think it had to do with my computer.
Okay. Awesome. Wow, that was kind of crazy. I was like, oh no.
Sorry.
I was like, who hacked into this thing? I was gonna talk about. I'm now reading a book called Daring Greatly, and it talks about the gremlins in your head, like that feed you your fears or things you're scared of or things you shouldn't. And I was like, is that the gremlins in our head? No.
Oh
Anyway.
no.
Hey girl, I'm so excited to have you on here. You promoted in October to Ruby, right?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Thanks.
And
Thank you so much.
when did you join again?
I joined the last day of August.
Yeah, so you are rocking this thing. Super awesome.
Thank you.
Ruby in a couple months. Okay, tell us a little bit of how you got started.
Okay, so my husband worked for Estee Martinez's husband, and my husband has actually known them for like years. Okay. And when we started dating, Estee followed me on Instagram, and she would like my pictures, and she actually messaged me like 3 times, and I ignored her messages. So if people are ignoring your messages right now, keep messaging because it'll work. And then like we ran over to their house one day just for like really quick, and Estee was like, let's go to lunch. And we have a house in East Texas, and then my husband works out in West Texas, so we travel every 2 weeks. So I didn't have any friends in West Texas. Estee was like literally the only girl I really knew out there. So I was like, Steven, I want to ask her to go to lunch, but I know she's going to ask me to do It Works. And he was like, why don't you do It Works? And I was like, I don't know. Why don't I do it? So I remember I called my sister up and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing It Works. And she was like, yeah, I follow someone who is really successful with it. She was like, I'll send you her Instagram. And I was like, okay. Well, it was Sherry. So my sister had been following Sherry for a year, and like I was following Estee. So now here we are both under Sherry. I'm going for Emerald. Kristen's going for Ruby. So it's crazy how it all worked out.
That's exciting. And it's funny how we put sometimes like perceptions on something, or like, and you're like, well, I don't know. What is the reason I'm not doing this, you know? And you're like, oh, really? That's not really a good reason. Like, we should do this. And yes, you're one of those people that don't respond back. I love that, because I think it's so important to ask people, and it's not bad to ask them a couple of times if it's really somebody you want to. I'm a product of that, you know, and I'm so glad. Like, I know I referenced that earlier, but I'm like, man, what if Sherry stopped at 5? Because I don't know that I would have ever asked her to be on her team, you know, which is okay.
Yeah, and like I'm with Hannah. I don't think I would have ever done this if Estee would have asked me. Like I don't think I would have just reached out, you know, and have done the business if no one asked me. And I was actually messaged twice before Estee by other distributors, but like I couldn't relate to those distributors where I loved Estee's post. I loved how she decorated her house. I thought she was so pretty. And I was like, oh my gosh, like she's so cool. So like, I feel like, you know, like you have to find those people that you can relate to. And I only like really follow people who I can relate to. Like dog moms, oil-filled wives, like people like that, because to me it's harder when people are on my team that I can't relate to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is so true. It's easier to have a common ground to work from, whatever it is. And so, okay, tell us a little bit, because I mean, you're rocking and rolling. You jumped in and you're going for it. So, what's a little bit of your day look like?
I do the Captivate app a lot. I do a lot of self-development. I'm definitely one that I stay in my own head. I think I've watched like so many, like if I'm in the car, like I'll put on, you know, a YouTube video or an audio book and just like listen to it, because every morning, like I have to give myself a little pep talk. Like Estee's gave me so many pep talks. My sisters gave me pep talks. So I'm just like definitely one that I have to do that self-development. I'm also all about the systems. Like I have a spreadsheet for everything. I have a spreadsheet for potential loyals, potential distributors. And like, if I get a response that's anything but no, like they go down on a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So like when the BOGO bill came out, like all those people that were interested in cleanses, like I pulled out my spreadsheet and I followed up with all of those people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, kind of how I run my business, a lot of following up. Like, I don't think I would be where I was at if it wasn't for following up. I think that's where the spreadsheets come so in handy, is because it makes it easier for me.
Yeah.
I really build on social media, like always adding to my network. Like, I think that's just so important, because I've never been one that just like has a huge network. And then I got married in June, and then I moved to East Texas, where I'm from Dallas. And then my husband works in West Texas. So I know no one from either side of Texas. So I've really built off social media.
Yeah, which is such I love technology, and this the friends we get to meet in that way. And you know what, I've had to in the last 6 months change that way. And so I'm thankful for, being able to do that. And like you said, relating to someone that you can relate to. And that's a great thing about this business, though. Like you're saying, it was Essie for me, but for somebody else, it might be somebody else. It might, you know what I mean? And so that's nice that there's not this cookie cutter thing that you have to be successful in this business.
Right.
Sorry. Now I love too what you said about not being in your head. I think that is so powerful. Like just finishing the 5-second rule, she's like, if you stay in your head, you might be staying in your fears and letting your fear decide your fate, instead of, getting out of your head and going for your dreams. And I think it's just so possible for that to happen. What are a few of your favorites that you've listened to, whether it's, a clip or a book or a sermon or anything?
Yeah. Well, I've probably listened to like every single Tips from the Top that is on Sherry's YouTube. And also the compound effect.
You said something really quick, because for everybody who knows, all of our Tips from the Top are on Sherry's YouTube page. So if you've never known that before, you can go back and watch them all. They're awesome. Okay.
Yeah. And the team trainings are on there too. So like even the team trainings, like I'll listen to those too. Like even when I wasn't part of the team, like I've gone back and listened to those too.
Yeah.
And then the compound effect, that book, like, and not even with this business, like other aspects of my life, like that book like hit home so hard. I listened to it in one day. I bought the audiobook and I listened to it in one day, and I was like, this book has changed my life.
Yeah.
So that was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. Okay. So the compound effect, and then all the Tips from the Top. Good job.
Yeah.
And I love too, you can actually go back and listen to all the Show Me the Money calls too on the It Works event page too, which is just awesome if anybody's kind of looking at that. Okay, so you're pretty consistent at signing your loyal customers and distributors. How are you doing that?
I would just say like messaging and reaching out, and really, like, I think posting is so important, but I've almost, I got to the point where all my warm market, like they saw my post, like the people who wanted a product, like they've already came to me, and I've messaged them, and it's almost at that point where like I'm having to go out to, it's been 3 months. So I'm having to go out to strangers. I mean, there's 3 girls on my team who I got off Instagram. So I'm just really messaging and like broadening my network, because like I said, I didn't come in this business with just this huge network. I mean, I moved, and it was just the people I did reach out to, like hesitant, as most people are, like told me no. So I would just say like reaching out and messaging and following up. And I message, I mean, today, I honestly think today, like I've sent out probably 100 messages, because I'm with Hannah. Like, I don't want to wait till last month. I did wait till month's end, and I was at out to eat with my family, and Esty was texting me like, oh my gosh, like you're going to need like you need to move someone under this person. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't do this every month. Like I need to start from like December 1st to make sure that like I'm not stressing out by month end, you know?
Yeah.
So I think just messaging and like getting those loyals and getting those boxes filled and just staying consistent.
I love that. Staying consistent. And there it is again. I feel like that word's happened a lot. No excuses. And you know what I hear you saying that I'm so proud to hear is like, I've kind of hit my warm market, so I moved on to the next step. And that is going to take you so far in this business. A lot of people, well, that was it. That was a fun run. But because you're like, okay, now what's next? What do I have to do next to change? Where do I have to go? And that mindset is going to carry you to the top in this business. So really good job on that. I need to just commend you on that, because that is a very big key that I think a lot of people miss. And I love what you're saying. Posting, yes, we do need to post. Like Kelly and I talk about this all the time. You want to post and you want to ask. You want to do both, because posting is showing that your store is open. So say those friends that are hesitant, they see you and they're like, you're still going. I'm ready to do this thing with you. Like I wanted to just see if you're doing it or not. Like whatever that is. But then asking on top of it is, I feel like asking is planting the seed and posting is almost watering it. You know what I mean? So like then they see like, okay, you asked me about this, I'm coming back to it. And so I think though, and following up, like, so posting, asking, following up, gotta do those things plus self-development. If you're doing those things every day, I mean, you are going to, one, with self-development, become just a better overall person. Two, you know, and two, you're going to, you know, continue to strengthen yourself to keep doing the thing for a great reason. And then your business is going to grow because you're, you know, continuing to put it out there for people.
Yeah. And like with self-development, I mean, we're all, you know, like I usually listen to it in the car. Like we're all at some point in the car by ourselves, you know? So like put on a YouTube video or put on an audiobook and just listen to it. And that's usually how I get my self-development in.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, I love that. Yeah. My girls now, I mean, I'm usually in the car with somebody at some point, but my girls are like, are we listening to the book with them? I'm like, yeah, that one. Like, okay, that's the one I like. They have their opinions now of what are good books and stuff too. Okay. I want you just to give a tip that you would give somebody who's kind of just going for it.
I would just, you know, message people, go for it, stay consistent, follow up. And something that I think has really helped my business is that my husband is my number one supporter. Like when I knew in October, like I had, you know, my chart full, and I was like, okay, I'm this far, this, you know, amount of BV away from going Ruby. And like I got on my phone and Steven got on his phone, and like he was messaging people and I was messaging people. And then he works in the oil field, so like he takes like, you know, the energy drinks with him to work. He takes the greens with him to work, and, you know, he just uses them in his everyday life. And he's probably gotten me like about probably half of my customers. I mean, he's bringing them in just as much as I am. So I would say, you know, get those people who are really close to you, get them involved too, even if which Steven is one of my DTs, but, you know, even if they don't do the business, like, you know, have them like help you out a little bit, you know, and because I think so many of our close friends that do have bought product from me have brought me customers.
Yeah.
So
100%. You can ask those close friends. They might not want to do the business. Do they want to do a party for you? Let me tell you something. My mom is 74, and I can't tell you how many friends of hers in Canada I've talked to. Them. I'm like, Mom, I do not have 45 minutes to talk to your friends in Canada about that. But I'm like, Stacey, do this, you know, because she's got me some customers that way. And so there are kind of people in your life that they might not be wanting to actually do the business, but they want to help you. And that could change too. You know, you could have a friend throwing you a party and then you go, girl, you want to make money off of this? Because you can. And it helps me too, you know, and they can see it. And so I think that's really good, good advice, and keep going for it. Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it. I mean, I think I've said everything that was on my mind.
Thank y'all so much for having me on here. I texted Esty this morning. I was like, do you know I'm on Tips from the Top? And she was like, yeah, I knew they were going to ask you. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what an honor.
Well,
so thank y'all so much.
Well, I'm glad you're on and you're doing it and going for it. And I think you're just an inspiration. I mean, you signed up the end of August and you're a Ruby about to go Emerald, and Diamond is just around the corner. And that's incredible. That's such a great thing to have done. And so thank you for being a part and being able to be on here with us. And I'm sure this is not the last we're going to hear from you.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Okay, guys, I think when I was just kind of writing down last thoughts of being a part of tonight's Tips from the Tops, I hear things like, 1, be a product of the product. Keep using the product and let it change your life, and it will continue to do so much more for others. 2, your excuses they're just excuses, and so you can get past them. You can keep working through them, and you don't have to do this on your own. I feel like I've heard so many people say that, like, you know, Kelly was talking about reach up to the people who can help you stay close to the fire, keep going forward. And I think too, even with Allie talking about self-development, what changes I think so much in self-development is that you start to realize that you're worth it. And I think if I could end tonight's Zoom on anything, I would have you think for a second, what is it that you want? You know, whether that's a new home, whether that's bringing a spouse home to work, whether that's something for your kids. Like, I think of Ashley Sinclair last night when she was saying, like, I don't want to look at my kids and say, oh, Instagram got too hard or things had to change. But whether that's, paying off your car, getting debt free, paying off your bills, whether that's changing the future for your family, or helping your mom or helping your dad do something that they couldn't pay for. Whatever it is that you're like, man, deep down, when I search deep down inside, retiring from my job, I love that. Like, when I search deep down inside, there are things that I want to make investments for. For me, I always think of the scripture that a wise man stores up treasures for his children's children. And I'm like, man, I want to be a wise man. I want to be that person, you know? And tonight, I just want to say, you're absolutely worth it. You are worth that dream. Your family is worth that dream. And you can go for it. Don't let anything hold you back or tell you different. You're fearfully, wonderfully made, and God has great plans for you. He says plans for it to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. And there is definitely that there for you. And so, and it's yours for the taking. Kelly, we need to post that TD Jakes sermon we listened to on Diamond Empire at some point. I'll do that. I can do that, but don't let me forget. But he used this whole illustration, like, I don't know, you just got to listen to it. But I'll tell you this, you guys, you got to build your table, okay? So you're worth it, your family's worth it, but you got to put in the work to do it. But don't let your worth hold you back from doing the work, because it will come back to you. So love you guys. I'm so proud of you. Yes, God doesn't build tables and chairs, but he makes trees, and we get to build the tables and chairs. So, all right, so inspiring. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in December. Y'all are going to rock it. We have a party that's happening Thursday night, so I know it's been a few weeks since we've had that, so get your people on there. Hannah talked about those events. Sherry, that was a business-changing event for her, so get on the party on Thursday, and let's go for your promotions, and let's work in this season when other people aren't, so that we can do what other people. Oh, shit. Kelly already posted that sermon on DE. Thank you, Kelly. Rockstar always. And she bumped it. So y'all listen to that tonight or tomorrow. Okay. Have a good night. Oh, wait, picture. I know there's not many of us left, but. Okay. All right. All right. Some of you are on. Good job. Smiling faces. Okay. Smile. Yay. Look at you. Look at this team. This is a team full of ambassadors right here. We're speaking that out and it's going to happen. All right. Love y'all. Have a great night. Praying for you. Allie, Hannah, Kelly, thank you so much for taking time for the team and sharing with us. Y'all are awesome. And who's ever going to conference, I cannot wait to see you. All right. Good night.